morning, everybody. It's Pastor Trevor Leitner, and I am joining you today with our It's All About This series, the 16th installation of that. Today we're going to be talking about what did Jesus say and command with conflict resolution. This is something that honestly we all get into, sometimes a lot more often than what we want to. So let's just examine what the Word of God has to say about how do we fix a disagreement between two brothers or sisters or friends or whoever. Matthew chapter 18, verse 15. If your brother sins against you, go and tell him his fault between you and him alone. If he listens to you, you've gained your brother. But if he does not listen, take one or two others along with you, that every charge may be established by the evidence of 2 or 3 witnesses. If he refuses to listen to them, tell it to the church, and if he refuses even to listen to the church, let him be to you as a Gentile or a tax collector. And these might sound like hard words from Jesus, especially the ending where we just sort of dismiss somebody if they won't listen. So let's go ahead and unpack it and listen. What do you do when somebody that you love hurts you? Maybe when it's even somebody in the church. This can be so difficult. We have this idea that people in the church, people that are Christians, they should have their stuff together. That if you're a believer, somehow all of your nasty personality traits that you had before you started following Jesus Christ melt away. That's really just not how it happens. How it happens is we follow Christ, we become more like active disciples of Christ by reading about Jesus, doing things that Jesus did, and by following him actively. Yes, those things do go away, our bad personality traits. However, it takes a while. There's an old Christian song, Farther Along, We'll Understand It. Honestly, I hum that one to myself all the time because it's easy. We all make mistakes. So Jesus set down these guidelines. What do we do when somebody makes an egregious error? What do we do when somebody really messes up? What he tells us is first you go to them. First one-on-one. Why? Why do we first go one-on-one? The idea here is simple. We're saving somebody's dignity. We're not talking about them to everyone else before we sit down and just talk with them and make an attempt to restore a relationship. When we triangulate things, when we go and we talk to someone else about person A and we're over here, we make things so complicated. So what we do, save their dignity and restore a relationship, first attempt is just to go and listen, gain some understanding, and try to repair a relationship. The goal isn't humiliation or punishment, it's restoration, always. If our goal in dealing with a brother or sister is humiliation or punishment, we need to understand that's not a Christ-honoring goal, and it's not going to turn out probably the way that you hoped it would. So now let's imagine that step 1 doesn't work. They're not listening to you. They will not talk to you. It seems like restoration isn't happening. So then what Jesus encourages us to do, take 1 or 2 others along with you so that the evidence might be established in 2 or 3 witnesses is what he says. Now, why this? Because this, having 2 or 3 witnesses, was standard legal practice. You could not accuse somebody back then without having credible witnesses that said, yes, they did that. You couldn't just lay accusations. So Jesus is saying, use the best standards around you. If you're having a serious problem, use best standards. This is not a behind-the-back meeting. This is not a let's talk about this person that we're upset with. That's let's go together and see if we can work this out with them. Again, restoration is the goal. And this is different because, outside of Christian ideas, sometimes we want to see that person get what's coming to them. I've heard that before. But this is not the goal of Christian restoration. The goal is to establish a relationship stronger than it was before. So then, what Jesus says that we're to do if steps 1 and 2 doesn't work is to take him in front of the whole church. Why the church? Why not the other legal system? Well, back then, honestly, the church was the legal system and the church all in one. It was one group. So when we take them before this group, again, we're following best practices. We're not seeking revenge ourselves. We're seeking to work it out amongst the group. All right? And if they refuse to listen, Jesus tells us to treat them like somebody that's an outsider. Why that? It might seem harsh. Why finally treating them as if they're an outsider? Because you're giving them a chance to come back to you. You're giving them a chance to figure it out and come back. So I pray that while you don't have a conflict that you need to resolve, I pray that perhaps this might have been helpful along the way. Know that we're praying for you, and know that we love you. I hope you're doing well. We'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.